Welcome. Welcome to the weekend wind down, a time to relax, let go of stress, and get ready for the weekend. And I thought today I'd ask a question. And the question is, have you ever said, I can't meditate, or I'm not good at meditating? I wonder if you've ever said that. I wonder if you still think that today. If you do, then today's wind down is just for you. Inspired by Mindful in May, which is just winding up in the next few days, I thought we'd think about meditation today. And I just wanted to blow a few myths away because so many people, women that I speak to, think that meditation is all about sitting cross-legged on the top of a mountain, feeling peace and calm and bliss and just feeling like no thoughts, your mind is blank and everything is just calm and beautiful. But actually, meditation is not about thinking no thoughts. It's not necessarily even peaceful. Sometimes it's quite irritating. Sometimes meditation is quite uncomfortable. So today I'd like to just blow away some of those myths and tell you what meditation is like from my understanding. Usually when I speak to women about meditation, the conversation goes something like this. They say, I can't meditate, or I'm terrible at meditating. And I say, well, what do you think? Why do you say that? And they say, well, my thoughts just keep on buzzing around again and again. My brain is full of thoughts, whizzing, and I just can't stop them. Well, guess what? That does not mean that you're not meditating. That doesn't mean that you're bad at it. Because meditation is actually all about observing what's happening in your brain. And our thoughts are going to keep thinking. Our brains are going to keep thinking. In fact, when you start meditating and you try and sit still, your body immediately is going to want to move. As soon as you think, I'm going to just put my hands in my lap, your nose will get itchy, or you get a twinge in your toe, or just something will try and stop you from staying still. And then you'll want to peek at the clock and see how many minutes have I already meditated, and your brain will be whizzing around with all sorts of thoughts. And that's actually the practice. Think about going to the gym. You pick up weights and you're picking them up and you're picking them up. It's a bit like that with your thinking. In meditation, what you do is you look at your thoughts and you try and step back and separate yourself, because your thoughts are not you and you are not your thoughts. So what you're doing is you're actually getting some level of separation. So when you notice and you say, oh, I'm having a thought, immediately that is a mindful moment. When I do that, I actually go, yes, inside, just silently, still, but I go, yes, I caught myself having a thought, and I noticed that I was doing it. So I successfully stepped back and saw that. That's fantastic. You're having a mindful moment. That's like the weight. Every time you catch yourself thinking and you go, oh, I'm thinking, and you go back to what you're focusing on, that's the work. That's the meditation. And that doing that again and again will make it easier and easier, because you're building a neural pathway to this new habit of noticing what's happening in your own brain, in your own body. I wonder if that makes it a little bit easier to meditate. So I thought we might try it together today. Now there's two ways that I suggest that you meditate. Either focusing on your breath or focusing on a word. The word might be something like love or peace, or whatever word you choose is absolutely fine. You're not really thinking about the meaning of the word. You're just using the word as something to repeat over and over in your mind, just to have something to focus on. Most people focus on their breath, and if you're focusing on your breath, then I just invite you, let's just try it now. So I invite you to sit still and sit upright, feet flat on the floor, hands resting comfortably in your lap. Closing your eyes. And if you're thinking about your breath, then I just invite you to notice. Take a few slow breaths in and out and notice where you feel the breath in your body. Breathing through your nose. Are you feeling the breath, mostly the pressure of the air coming in and out of your nostrils? Maybe you're feeling your chest going up and down. Maybe you're feeling it in your belly, moving in and out. Maybe you're feeling it somewhere else. Just choose one feeling, one sensation to focus on. Just your nostrils, or just your belly, just your chest. Just let your breath go back to a comfortable rhythm and just observe. If you're choosing a word, just pick your word. When I choose a word and say a word for meditation, I do it in time, say it in my head silently, interiorly, in time with my breathing, but that's totally up to you. However works for you is absolutely fine. So now just focusing on your word or focusing on your breath, where you can feel it in your body. Breathing in and out at your own pace. You don't need to do anything. Try not to make any effort at all to breathe. As soon as I say that, you're trying to make an effort, but to make an effort to not make an effort. But just try and let it go. Your breath will keep on breathing. It does it all night when you're asleep with no effort at all. Try and make less and less effort and just notice. And when a thought comes, yep, that's a thought. Yes, I picked it up. Back to your breath. Back to your word. So let's just practice for 2 or 3 minutes in silence together, focusing on your breath or your word. When you notice your mind wandering, just bringing it back, letting the thoughts float away like a helium balloon, coming back to your breathing, back to your word. Now I invite you to just come back to focusing on your body for a minute, noticing your feet flat on the floor, noticing the chair holding your weight. Keeping your eyes closed, I'd invite you to ask yourself, what is something I might do this weekend just for joy, just because it will bring you joy? And what else could you do this weekend just because it brings you joy? Whatever you've thought of, I invite you to choose one thing that will bring you joy and set it as an intention for the weekend. What's one thing that will bring you joy? If you're watching or listening to this on Facebook, please share in the comments below, what is the one thing you're doing this weekend just because it will bring you joy, because it's wonderful to inspire one another. If you're listening to this on a podcast, you might like to share it with a friend and encourage them to think of something for themselves that might bring them joy too. Either way, I invite you to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose if you can, and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me for this meditation. I hope that helped and gave you a little bit of an insight into my angle on meditation, and to realize that actually you can do it. And I started by meditating just for 7 minutes a day. I really encourage you to try it, even 5 minutes a day. There's a lot of research that says once you're doing about 10 minutes a day, it has all sorts of amazing positive effects on your health, on your mental health, your calmness, your ability to cope and resilience, all sorts of positive things. So I encourage you to play with it, but just start small. Every few minutes helps. But every day helps too, like going to a gym every day rather than doing it once a week. Every little bit helps. So have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have lots of joy, have a fabulous week, and I encourage you to try meditating as often as you can. See you now. Bye for now.